about writing a book. You're stuck. Maybe you're wondering, do I need a book coach? Or is it something I can figure out on my own? Well, I am so glad that you have found this video because here I am going to break down 3 reasons for you that you are ready for a book coach and 3 reasons you might not need one. So let's get into it. Hi, first, I want to tell you about what a book coach even is. It's like a personal trainer for writing. So if you are playing a sport, you're going to have a coach. They're going to teach you the fundamentals of the game. They're going to teach you strategy. They're going to teach you how to improve your ability in the game. They're going to push you forward and make sure that you achieve your objective. That's what a book coach does. We provide you with tools and training to make sure that you get that book written. We provide you a strategy to make sure it is aligned in the marketplace and is ready for publication. And we push you towards your goals to make sure that you actually get that book published and out there, and that it positions you the way that you want it to be so that you are known as the expert in the field, that you have that ability to provide service to those that pick up your book. So think of a coach in writing exactly the same way as you would that personal trainer, that business coach, that executive coach, the coach on the baseball team. We're all doing that same sort of work. We're helping you, in this case, develop your book idea, outline your message, stay accountable, and navigate the publishing process. So, whether you're brand new to writing or whether you're a seasoned writer who's just stuck right now, a book coach might be for you. So let's get into it. I want to share with you 3 signs that I think you're ready to hire that book coach. First of all, if you have been thinking about writing a book for years, you have journals stacked up with all kind of thoughts and ideas, but you haven't actually made progress on a draft, a book coach is probably exactly what you need. So, is that you? Do you have so much writing that you don't even know what to do with it all? You don't even necessarily think of yourself as a writer, but you have journal after journal of short stories, poems, devotionals, prayers that are just begging for someone else to read, to use, to benefit from. Then that coach can take all of that mountain of mess and make it into something that will serve those people that God has called you to serve. We help turn those ideas that are all over the place right now, whether all over in your head or all over in those journals, into an actual book plan. Subcategory here is you've been podcasting or speaking for years and still don't have that signature book because you just don't think of yourself as a writer. I heard a great analogy the other day, um, where if you are giving people all of this information in the form of a podcast, in the form of speaking engagements, but you don't give them something to take home and digest, you've only given them half of a meal. You want them to enjoy what they're consuming right then, but they need something to take home. They need some long term content that they can digest slowly. That's what's going to create that lasting transformation outside of that coaching. And of course, that's what we want is that coaching relationship, because that's when you know real lasting transformation is going to take place. So, sign number 1 that you are ready to jump into the world of hiring a book coach is you've been thinking about this book for years and you've never real made excuse me, that you've never made real progress, or you have all kind of content out there and you've never put it into a form that is your signature stamp of authority. Number 2, you just don't know where to start. You're overwhelmed by the process. Writing a book isn't just writing, it's structuring, editing, publishing, marketing. I tell my clients all the time, you're climbing a mountain, but what you think is reaching the top of the mountain is actually not even the top, because the top of the mountain, you're looking down on the other side, you've still got all of these marketing, all of these sales, all of these things that you've still got to do on the downside of on the downside of that mountain to make sure your book actually gets into the hands of readers. Because if you spend all of this time writing this book and it is fabulous and it goes out into the world, one of the myths that new writers have is that it just being published and fabulous is enough to bring them all kind of readers. Girl, I hate to break it to you, but that's just not the truth. You can have the best book out there and it will get buried under the other 40 million books on Amazon. You have to have a strategy. That's why you need a coach to help you with that strategy for positioning yourself in the market. So, if you just don't know where to start and you're completely overwhelmed by the process, you need a coach because we can help you break down the process step by step so that you don't get lost. We have the strategy. We can share it with you. We can guide you through it. Just come ask us. All right. Number 3, the third sign that you need to consider hiring a book coach is that you've been writing. The draft is in the draft form. It's not just sitting in journals or all over everywhere. It's not in your heart and you know that you need to write it. You've actually been writing. You have stuff on paper. You have hands have touched keyboard. You have written, but it's not going anywhere. It's not getting finished. There's not a first draft coming out of that book. Then you need something more, and that is the accountability to finish your book. And that's what that coach can provide, because they will be someone that will hold you to your own guidelines and deadlines. But you might think, well, Carolyn, how is that different than an editor? Wouldn't an editor hold me to those guidelines? Maybe, maybe not. See, that's not really an editor's role. An editor comes into the process after that draft is written. A coach comes in long before then. We come in when it's just an idea, when it's just a dream, when you're stuck after writing 500 chapters and still don't have a book. This is when a coach comes in. An editor is not going to edit your way out of all of the stuck. They will edit you into a beautiful, polished version. Okay. So think in terms of, I always use this analogy about building a house and building a book. The, the book coach is like that general contractor that comes alongside you and says, okay, well, we're going to have to lay some concrete. We're going to have to build a structure here. And, that's not going to work because you're going to need this here and these kind of eaves here. And all right, we need the drywall guy to come in. Or are you going to paint this yourself? Okay, yeah, that's an okay idea. But let's not do the finishing work ourselves. Let's hire that out and walks you through that process. The editor is more like the interior designer that comes in and makes it fabulous and beautiful and show-stopping. Okay? So there's a little bit of difference between that book coach and what we do and what a really good editor will do. All right. So if you are one of these people where you know you need to write, You just haven't done it yet. You've been doing it and you're stuck and you need that accountability. Or you're just overwhelmed with where to even start. You're probably big sign, big flashing neon sign there. You need to reach out and hire a book coach. Well, then how do you know if you're not ready for a book coach? Well, there's 3 signs for that as well. So let's go through them. The first, you're just really exploring the idea of writing a book, but you aren't committed to it. You haven't yet convinced yourself that this is the thing that you need to do. Spoiler, if you are a coach or a service provider and you have an audience and a platform and you need to take that to the next level and you don't have a book helping you do that already, big, you need to decide. Okay, that it's past time. You need to decide a book is what you need out there as that authority marker. All right, so if you're just exploring the idea but you're not really committed to it yet, then don't hire a book coach just yet. You really need to be committed because they are going to require you to invest in yourself in a way that you really are going to have to step up, because writing that book is such a commitment. You're going to have to show that commitment through the investment of time and money that you're willing to make towards providing this book out there into the world. So make sure that you are fully committed. It's as easy as deciding. Just make the decision. Just decide. You get to do that. You have permission that you can just decide. You know what? I'm writing a book. There, it's done. I've decided. Just do it. Number 2 sign that you're not ready for a book coach. You're self-motivated and you're already making progress. You already got chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. You aren't stuck for more than a day. Then, girlfriend, keep going. Keep writing. I'm cheering you on. If you get stuck, call me, but otherwise, go. When you get that full first draft done, and then you go through and do some careful self edits to where you feel like it would be ready to be published, then you're ready for a professional editor, not a book coach. You get stuck between those 2 points, holler at your girl. I got you. But if between getting it written and you're just rolling and you aren't getting stuck for more than a day, to you have a very polished draft that you feel like, oh, I could actually publish this, then reach out to a professional editor. I've got some contacts for you there as well. So if that's the point that you're at, book coach is not what you need. You need to just keep writing and then help me find that professional editor is what you need to say. Hey, I need help with finding the editor, not finding a book coach. Number 3, sign that you're not ready for a book coach or that you don't need one is that you expect the coach to write your book for you. That's not what we do. We don't write the book for you. You have to write the book. You're in charge of all the work. What we will do is guide you towards that goal and help make sure that you reach the goals that you are setting and help you figure out what goals that should be. There is such a thing as ghostwriting, and that is a legitimate thing where you can say, you know what? I don't have the time or the energy or even the inclination to write my own book, but I would like a book out there with my methodology, with my transformation. Hire a ghostwriter, but that's not a book coach. That's a ghostwriter. You need some recommendations on ghostwriters? I got that for you too, but that's not a book coach. Okay. So I want to make sure that when you decide book coaching is for you, that you know exactly what you're getting, exactly what you're investing in, and that is truly what you need. And you don't find out later after you've invested in this person, wait a minute, I needed an editor, not a book coach. Well, wait a minute, I needed a ghostwriter because I am not writing this myself. Make sure that you know what it is that you're getting. Okay. So I want to know, put in the chat, send me a message. What category do you fall in? Are you serious about getting your book written and getting that expert guidance, accountability, and clear strategy? If so, I'd love to talk to you and just truly make sure that book coaching is your right step. And if it's not, I'll just be flat out honest with you and say, girl, it's not actually your next step. Here is what you need to do. And if it is, we'll talk about if this is what we need to do to work together. So check out the links in the description below. I would love to hear more about what you're writing. If you're already working on a piece and you're that person that's self motivated and making steady progress, tell me more. I want to cheer you on. I want to be your biggest fan. I would love to see that book succeed for you. When you get to the point that you want those other recommendations for professional editing, professional cover design, things of that nature, how to find a traditional publisher, even, hit me up and let me know. We'll see what we can do to make sure that you continue rocking those goals. And if you are that coach, that service provider who's listening to this because you're thinking, I know I need to write a book. I know. I know. Like there's no doubts. I just know. However, there's so many other things that are keeping me from actually doing that work. I need to just have a conversation with somebody about whether I should write this book, how I should get it done, what would that actually look like, what kind of work is actually entailed. Let's set up a meeting and talk through what that process would look like for you. I want to make sure that your unique methodology and transformation are out there in the market because there are lives waiting to be transformed by the message only you can bring. I am so excited that you joined me today, that you're watching this replay. Please stop and join in the comments. Let me know where you're from, where you watch this from, and where you are on this writing journey. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe for more because we will be continuing to talk about book coaching, book writing, strategy, marketing, and all the things involved in getting your unique message out there into the world. This is Carolyn Wiley, your one and only book doula. Talk to you next week.